The Reserve Bank of Australia kept interest rates on hold for the third meeting in a row yesterday at 4.35%. Joining me now is business reporter Edward Boyd. Ed, Governor Bullock says the war against inflation is not over yet, but it's getting closer.
It's getting closer and closer by the day, Kenny. Look, we know inflation is still a problem, not just for our economy, but for lots of economies around the world. And Governor Bullock talked quite a bit yesterday in the press conference, which went for roughly 40 minutes, about the inflation challenge that we're facing. There was a few direct questions asking her, when are rates going to start to fall? And her answer was, when inflation starts to come down. What you can see on the screen here is what the cash rate has done basically since 2021. You can see there it was at 0.1% for a long period of time. Then in May 2022, it started to get lifted, and we've had 13 interest rate rises since then. Cash rate's at its highest level in about 12 years. But this is just a short snippet from the press conference yesterday with Governor Bullock, just explaining to the audience what she wants to see before interest rates can be cut in Australia.
What we need to consider a rate cut is really to be much more confident that inflation is coming back into the band. So if we were to see some acceleration and get some more confidence that we are overachieving there, then possible rate cuts might be something on the agenda. But at the moment, we're not seeing that.
Ed, the US Federal Reserve will announce its cash rate decision tomorrow. Are rates in the US expected to remain on hold there?
They're expected to remain on hold in America, and remember, rates there are at 5.5%, so they're a fair bit higher than they are in Australia. That's because the problem with inflation has been a bit more of a challenge in the United States compared to here. But expect a lot of questions at the press conference with Jerome Powell, the head of the US Federal Reserve, tomorrow morning around 4 or 5 a.m. our time, asking him when rates are going to start to fall, because there's been a lot of speculation in the US press and markets that rates in the United States are kind of ready to fall from June this year. So a few months earlier than the expectations for Australia. For Australia, the expectation is September. Perhaps a little later this year, we'll see rate cuts from the RBA. But the US Fed, there's a lot of hope that rates will start to go down around that month of June. So we should get a better steer from the governor of the US Federal Reserve early tomorrow morning when he does his press conference. And that'll give us a good guidance for where rates are going to end up in the US. And it will obviously affect our economy as well. And hopefully we'll see the cash rate cut in Australia by September or earlier.
OK, great stuff, Ed. That will be welcome indeed. Thanks. Talk to you soon.